Hello folks, I'm Scott Grove. I was asked to do this video, so I'm more than happy to do it. Anytime any of you out there have a request for a video, I'll be more than happy to try to make it for you. This request was for a video doing right hand strumming. I have done one similar to this before, but they wanted more basic, just actual strumming patterns and really break them down. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to actually break down the strumming patterns and get right down to the real nitty-gritty. Later in the video, everything will be this close, and I will explain every little thing to you. So I'm going to go right from the beginning of like waltzes, how to get those, all the way to rock and roll stuff and folk songs and country songs, anything you can imagine. I'll show you how to play the strumming patterns to all these different kinds of songs. So like I mentioned, your waltzes. You know, that type of thing. And we'll even, let's say, sing chords. Like if you were doing something like Sweet Home Alabama, where the guitar player would actually... That's his part. And now you're looking for just the strumming part. What the rhythm guitar player would do. So this is rhythm guitar, which would actually be this. This is actually very complicated to somebody that don't know how to do this, because we're going to have lots of ghost notes, clicking things. I'll explain what these are in the video, which are like... So you get things like that. You hear a lot of things going on. I'll explain each and every bit of this thing and everything in between. So we'll get all your easy stuff, like from the very basics to the harder stuff. Okay? So once again, you can get a full hour of nothing but strumming techniques. There will be no picking, no finger picking. I have that on another video. This will be just basic strumming up to semi-advanced strumming. So once again, I am Scott Grove. Come on inside. We'll be strumming away, alright? See you there. Okay folks, we are back. What I'm going to do is make sure we are in tune. So if you don't have an electronic tuner, please spend the $15. Go out there and get you one. It makes life so much easier. To show you what one is, here on the side of my guitar, I actually have one built in. But you can hit the notes and it will show you whether you're in tune or not and what to do, where to tune it up to. Okay, so you can see that. But a little electronic tuner, $15, and it'll save you a whole world of hurting. I don't think I could even tune without them anymore. Anyway, so we'll go here with the low E string. To our A string. Okay, now we're going down to our D string. Down to the G string. Down to our B string. And finally our high E string. Okay, and just to make sure we're all good, I am expecting that you know all your chords that we'll be using today. So if you play me just an E chord, play it along with me, and a 1, 2, 3. Again. And one more time. Okay, that's just to make sure we're all in tune together. Okay, now to start off, I'm going to show you the proper way. Oddly enough, some people don't do it right. To hold a guitar pick will actually be, if you're going to be playing rhythm, the majority of it is going to be only two fingers, your first finger and your thumb. You're only going to be letting the bottom third or so actually poke out. A lot of people like to use their middle finger to kind of hold on to it too. That's fine. Whatever works for you. But we're only worried about about the bottom third of your pick sticking out. And of course it will always be going exactly just like that, so it won't be at an angle or some weird thing like you're trying to saw your strings in half. So it's, or, so you're just raking it across the strings as we go faster. It's just, okay. Now, the thing we gotta concentrate here on is if you have a pick guard, what that is for is to keep from scratching up your guitar and putting a hole in it like Willie Nelson does. What that actually means is that he plays great, mind you, but it's actually technically wrong. If you're playing correctly, which I want to teach you how, you can do it however you want later. Music is self-expression, so do it however you want. But as a basic rule, your guitar pick should never in any way, shape, or form ever in its life come into contact with your guitar, let alone the pick guard or anything else. Okay? So you see people who are playing like this, that is sick and wrong. Hopefully you won't fall into that. It's basically you're anchoring your arm to your guitar, and then the only thing that's basically moving is your wrist. Your arm should never leave your guitar, and you should never be doing this and scratching up your guitar. If you do it that way, I'll say it, you're doing it wrong. Okay? So don't do that, please, please, please. Okay, now here's the correct way to do things. Like I said, after this, if you want to destroy your guitars and do that, by all means go ahead and do so. I'm sure the guitar companies will be more than happy to sell you more guitars. That's what they're out there for. So anyway, take care of your guitars. Okay, as far as regular picking, I am going to go to just a regular D chord right now. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to play a waltz as far as the strumming hand goes. Okay, what I want, okay, you have your D chord, okay? We are actually going to start with your pick on the D string, okay? And we're going to do a couple strums, I'm going to show you those, and then we're actually going to hit the open A string too. Show you in full, what I'm looking at is this. And then I will actually bring this waltz a little more into a better sounding waltz than your typical one like that there. We will actually get to. So it's not so stagnant as the first one. But we have to get through the first one in order to establish what a waltz is. So your waltz picking or strumming is actually play the D string one time, then we actually strum down twice with our pick over all four strings, starting from the D string. So you hit the D string and you strum twice. Here's a major thing. With your other hand, take your thumb over the top. It should not be uncomfortable. Take your thumb, put it over top, and actually kind of mute the two strings that you're not playing for the moment, so that while you're strumming, if you accidentally hit those strings, so it won't do this, and you accidentally hit those strings, you're actually shutting those strings down by putting your fingers on them, but not pushing down. If you push them down, you don't want to do that. You just want it enough to shut them up. Okay, so that's called muting. M-U-T-I-N-G, muting. Okay, back to what we're here for is, so your D string, these are all downstrokes, so down on the D string, all four strings twice. Then you'll let up enough on your thumb so it's still covering the low string, but then you'll play the A string, then just those four again. So it is the D string, then two strokes down, in the A string, then those four strings, two strokes down. So everything is a downstroke. You are not coming up at all yet. Okay, so that is how we play our waltz. And what we do is, if you were to switch to a G chord from there, you would do the same thing. You would actually just think it through. You would actually, if you're playing a G, okay, so what these actually are, if you're doing a G, you play the low E string, which is your G note now, and play all 6 strings. So you play the G note. So in a waltz, you play the root note, the main note, whatever the chord is called, G. So we're playing the G right there. And then we're playing all 6 strings. Okay? Because the D chord just simply don't allow for it. But you're covering all of them with your G chord. So play your G. Then it's actually your D string that is open. Then you can play all 6 still. Okay, but it's the same thing. So G, then your D string. If we were to go to A, we would actually play the A string open and all 5 strings. Then your low E string open, back to those 5 strings, A string, okay, so that's what you're doing as far as the strumming hand goes on a waltz. Okay, now we are going to pick this thing up, not speed-wise, but pick it up skill-wise. How do we do that? This is it. Here's what you're going to be getting into. Okay, this takes a little bit of practice. That's what it's all about, kids. So we have, okay, so it's your D string, down, up, down. Okay, now what you're placing, your thumb is actually giving you your strength to push down. When you're coming back up, it is your finger that is underneath the pick that allows for the strength to come back up. Okay, so you want to go, so D string, da da da, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is your up and down. You got to really work on this because this is going to make a lot of difference in your playing, is adding these in. So you pick your root note, your D, down, up, down. Okay, so that's how we do our basic waltz, and that's with the added oomph. Okay, now these things can really go crazy and go all over the place. You can go, but then we're actually getting into what's finger picking, and that's a whole nother lesson. Okay, so for basic strumming, now we're going to get into our basic 4/4 patterns, which are 90% of what you will play. Okay, again, we'll go ahead and we'll just go ahead and go to the key of C. Okay, so we're going to go to like this pattern. That's what you're here for, probably, is that. Okay? So the way to play our basic patterns are going to be this. Okay, in the key of C, I'm going to go to C. Okay. Okay, it is very, very similar to the waltz thing. You're just counting at a different pace. Where a waltz was, I'll stay in C for now, just for the sound. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, and waltz. Okay, now this is, we're not in a waltz pattern anymore. So it's actually basically the same thing, but you have a different count in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going. Okay, I still get that waltz in my head. There it is. See, I get a waltz in my head and I want to waltz all day. Okay, that's what we're looking at is, so play your C note. A lot of this stuff actually has to do with playing your root note, your actual note, your C. So play it first. And, okay. Okay, this has an extra one in it. So to break this down is play your C note, that many strums. Okay, so we actually have 3 of each, down, up, down, up, down, up. So your C down, then we have down, up, down, up, down, up. That's what we're actually looking at. Now this is going to sound stupid as all get out while you're trying to learn it, but it will make sense as soon as I stick it in context for you. There it is in context. Okay, so you can hit that C note as many times as you want to. It's up to you. This is music. A lot of it is up to you. But I'm actually just saying for now to learn how to play this strumming pattern. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Then hit the C again. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Now this takes what is called soul. A lot of white folks like me, we don't have it generally, but somehow I got the groove later. Stella got her groove back, I'm telling you. Okay, so again, real slow. You play your root note, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's it. So try that. And think of that until later, when you don't have to think of it. It will just become natural. So, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up, C. Okay? So that's the way we're going to do this. I'll yell out the changes. We're going to go C, F, and G. When I say F, you're simply just going to go to an F chord, and you're going to play the lowest note possible of that F, which will be this. And then we'll do the F, F. So when I say F, you're actually just hitting the F note, not an F string, because we don't have one. Okay, so I'm going to call out the note that you're playing. Then everything else will be down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, you got 6 total strokes after the initial hit. So you'll be doing F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But think down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so I'll be like F, F, down, up, down, up, down, up, F, down, up, down, up, down, up, F, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up. Do you see me doing this? No, it's just your wrist. That's all it is. That's the same thing right there. It's just a matter of how you attack it. Boom, boom, down, up, down. C, down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 F, down, up, down, up, down, up, F, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, down, up, F, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up. So now you're starting to sound like a real player here. That's all it is. But it's a matter of training your right hand to do it. Everything takes training and practice. This is not easy to get. I make it look easy because I've been doing this for like 30 some years. So to convey this to you, I'm doing, having to try to actually go back to my roots also, which makes it kind of odd. But I'll get you there, kiddos. Okay, so again, it is C, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up. So keep doing that. Work on that all day long if you have to. But play those three chords, C, F, and G. Okay? I'll do it slow one more time. C, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, F, down, up, down, up, down, up, F, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, down, up, C, F, F, C, C, G, G, get close, C, C, F, F, C, C, G, G, C. Okay, so that's how we keep that going. And like I said, in order to attack this thing, once you get that, sit in front of the TV for 10 days if you have to, but you'll get that. And once you get that, you've got the majority of it. The rest of it is attitude. I swear, there's nothing else to do there. It's a matter of how light you hit it, each one. That's only making the first down stronger than the rest. So the first downstroke after the F, like say you're doing a C. So you're throwing a strong accent. I'm not flailing my arm, I'm just attacking it better. On the very first down. So C, strong, C, F, C, C, G, G. That's where it starts to get some attitude, some, grit to it. So this is how the pros play it, kiddies. And it's the downstrokes that you want more powerful. If you want to make all of the downstrokes more powerful, that's fine too. Find out which ones you like. That's what makes the songs different, is how you play them. It can be all downstrokes are allowed. That's making every downstroke louder. So try things like that. The upstrokes generally will not be loud unless you want to mess around with them and make them loud by hitting them stronger than the upstroke, or than the downstrokes, I'm sorry. So you could have doing the upstrokes is a different sound. Most people will make the downstrokes more pronounced or hit them harder. Okay? So that is your basic rhythm style for most songs. Okay, what we're going to actually get into now, because I want you to practice that one forever, the waltz thing too, as much as you can. Now we're going to actually bust your chops. We're going to get into what are called ghost notes, which is nothing more than this, kids. If you actually take your hands, put them on your strings, you've probably done this before. That's the best way in the world to practice rhythm guitar. You're strumming. These are called ghost notes or muting. Just muting those strings. That same thing, hitting a note, down, up, down, up, down, up. You can do anything. You can do the old horse gallop. That's down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Down, up, down, down, up, down. That's where you can get your train sounds like that. This is like Johnny Cash, who I happen to have on my shirt here. Is you doing those things, down, up, down, the train strokes, I like to call them. So that's just down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And it sounds like a horse galloping. Now put an E chord with that, and you've got something. Now an A. E. B. E. That's where you get your country sound. It's down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. That is the horse gallop here. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Whatever you're doing down here, if you're playing an E, you play all 6 strings. If you're playing an A, there's Mr. Thumb again. Cover that E string. Don't push down, just cover it enough to mute it. If you're playing another chord, you're still muting. See, my Mr. Thumb is stuck up there. I always stick the thumb up there. It should not be uncomfortable. Just move it around till it's comfy. It will fit. One of these days, it will fit. It'll magically be delicious. No, it'll magically just happen for you. It should not be uncomfortable. Just move that elbow around. Let it fall. Don't force it. If it's stuck up in the air like this, go see your doctor. Something's wrong with you. Okay, so it should just be nice and comfy. Nothing should hurt at all. If anything hurts, you're doing it wrong. Figure out what's going wrong. So again, that is muting. And that is basically our intro into getting into country strumming. Okay? So if you can actually do that, sit around for a few hours or a few days, whatever it takes you, it don't matter. You've got a lifetime. Use it. Might as well do it playing music. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, you can make a good living at it if you become good enough. I did it. Do it slow. I'm sitting here getting mesmerized by doing that. It's got a cool sound. So there I'm going kind of like we did with the waltz. I'm adding the note of the chord, E, then down, up, down. Each time I'm hitting it, going back to that note. So E, down, up, E, down, up, down, down, up, E, down, up, A, down, up, A, down, up, A, down, up, A, down, up, E, down, up, E, down, up, E, down, up, E, down, up, B7, down, up. Okay, so that is simply hitting the E, down, up, E, down, up, and I'm raking. Here's a new term, raking. So that's not actually strumming the strings anymore. This is called raking the strings. So just why? I don't know. That's just what they call it, raking. So you're actually raking the strings. And you're only, on your up string, you're only hitting a couple notes. So you're raking the strings down. So E, rake. On your up string, upstroke, you're only hitting like the E and the B string coming back up. A. E. B7. Okay, so that's a raking pattern. That kind of derived from the old train thing. So it goes right into that. So that is just a variation of that. There's tons of variations to be had, and there's tons for you to explore. To take this whole muting thing, or these ghost notes, why they call them that, who knows, who cares? Muting, I understand. To mute means to quiet, white ghost. I don't know what poltergeists have to do with guitar playing, but they named them this for some reason. One of these days we'll all find out. Just like we'll find out if Elvis and Michael Jackson are alive and living somewhere together and working at a 7-Eleven. Okay, now, I promised you, I'm sick. Anyway, I promised you earlier, we're going to get crazy on a couple things, and I'm going to incorporate everything we've done, but to the extreme. And like I said, we're going to use Sweet Home Alabama as a playground here. And like I said, anybody else, once later down the line, once you actually get to playing and picking, you know, that stuff, that's down the road. We'll get there. It's already out there. Go pick it up. But in the meantime, somebody needs to be keeping that rhythm down, and that's you. That's this. I will show you. Okay, it can be that clicky, or that muted, or that much ghost note, or it can be straight. Again, it's just the wrist. Okay, I'll show you both ways. They're actually both played the same way with your strumming hand. The other thing has to do with ghost notes and clicky clicks and all them other Ethiopian sounds. Yeah, same thing, I know. I'm out there. It's a beautiful thing about being a musician. Nobody expects you to be normal. Alright, so if you're a freak of nature, welcome to music. You deserve to be here. It's an elite club. Okay, now the strumming for this kind of thing is a little wacky if you're just getting into things. But like I said, we are going to go through all this, and you can go back and pause this and rewind it anytime you want. It's the beauty of video. Okay? So you take this at your own pace. Don't think you got to keep up with me. Keep up with yourself. Make sure you got everything before you move on. Okay? So if you haven't stopped this video yet, shame. Go back. Stop it. You've got way too much to learn before you get to this, because this will knock your socks off. Okay? Okay? So that's where we're going to basically start. So the first one is that much. Okay, which is 2 notes on your D string. Down, up, down, up. Okay, for our basic thing. And it's that quick. Nothing exaggerated. Maybe the very first down, it has a little bit of emphasis on it, or a little more power. This is with your D chord, playing the D string first, twice. And all of them are going to be this way. Okay, and that's all there is. This way. Okay, so slowly it is hard hit. So down, up, down, up. So 2 on the D. So you hit the first one hard, going down. The rest of them kind of taper off, but it's just a matter of keeping your hand going. You can just keep on going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up to the G if you want to. You don't have to necessarily hit these anywhere if you don't want to. You can just which is down, up, down, up, down, up. If you don't want to hit the, you can go add an extra down, up. That's sets of 3 down, up, down, up, down, up times. So you're doing 3 down, up, down, up, down, up. If you don't want to hit the, you replace that with 2 more notes. So any 2 notes can work. It can be these 2 notes, down, up, or it can just be an extra down, up, you know, with it. In replacement of this, you can actually, you know, do the 3 down, up, down, up, down, ups if you want. It's up to you. Okay, but the way I'm showing you right now, then C suspended second. Actually, I'm putting my pinky on the B string on the 3rd fret, which makes a D note. So that's C suspended second is actually what that is. So it's a C chord with your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. So for that I'm doing C, or C twice, and then just G twice. And then I continue down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up throughout the whole phrasing of the G thing. I don't go back and hit it a second time, even though it's twice as long. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I opt to do the down, up, instead of hitting the G thing twice again during the G, because it's twice as long. Why go back and hit it? If you want to, you can. If you did, it would sound like this. But I prefer to go. Okay, now that is that. Work on that one. Okay, this whole wrist thing is what's going to freak you out. Every time that you don't have your wrist or whatever anchored to your guitar, or this part of your arm anchored to your guitar, get it back there. Otherwise, you're going to destroy your finish. You're going to have a guitar that looks like Willie Nelson's big old hole in it. Make sure you're playing this thing right. The other variations of the same thing that I was talking to you about was adding these ghost notes in, these little clicky clicks. Anything to put my face on the camera. There we go. He's so vain. Okay, so to get those, same thing. Okay, if you want to get that kind of stuff, you're going to need it. If you want to play rhythm guitar and learn strumming, that is an important part. And that is actually done with your other hand. So I'll show you both at the same time. So you're playing the same thing you were playing before. This hand, your strumming hand, is doing nothing different. So it is actually, you're actually kind of lifting off, but not totally with your fingers. Or just put your pinky down. Either way. And I'm just kind of getting the last note out by covering and meeting the strings. So if you look at what I'm doing real close, as I'm switching chords and stuff, I'm just covering strings up just to get that sound out, to get the clicky clickies. It actually sounds cool if you do it right. Okay? I'll actually overdo it and change up the beat slightly, man. It will kind of go reggae style or something. But, you know, it's just a matter of little clicky clickies. But this hand never quit doing what it was doing. It's just a matter of click, 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 click. You can do all that stuff and make it look as cool as you want, or you can do it without doing anything. If you have your hands on the strings, listen what you get. You can just do this and make it look cool for whoever. If your hands are actually on the strings, it doesn't matter. Take them off. That's the other way around it. This is all for show. You'll see people doing that. Here's where it's at. This is a strumming video. You can do it right there. Okay? So it don't have to be done down here. It can be. So that time I let it be everything here. But you can do it all right here. That's just fun stuff for you to throw in. Okay? Now we're going to get into some other kind of strumming stuff. This is your typical, let's say, rock and roll strumming. Okay? What this is, I will show it to you, and I'll show you how to do it. This is, okay, so it's that kind of thing. So this is the next one we'll tackle. Okay, if you haven't got everything else done, pause it. Go back. Don't go into the light yet. It's not time. Okay. So what we're going to do is go in the key of E. Hopefully you know how to do this already. What we're going to do is play our low E string, second fret on the B string, and flatten it out so it covers the second fret also on your D string. So you have these three notes, which is basically an E chord. Okay? When we switch down to A, all we're doing is just taking the whole thing down one string and then starting on the A string. Okay? And what we're doing is, okay, with your right hand. We'll get off this right hand in a second because this is a strumming video. And so I've got to make sure you know this part so we can manage the strumming. Okay, so we're adding another finger, whether it be your pinky or hopefully your ring finger, whichever works for you now, to the fourth fret of the A string. So we're actually, okay, you'll be thinking of it in your mind this way. The only time the finger will hit that fourth fret is on the number 2. Here's how I count it. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. So it's only there for the number 2. Okay? Same on the A. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and it don't even stick around for the and. It's just there for the number 2 and goes away. So count this like this in your head. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. That's what your fingers are going to be doing here, your pick. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. You get that? Drill it in your head, pause it till you figure that out. Come back. Here comes the rhythm part, the strumming part that we're actually here for. What we're doing here is now muting with the palm of our hand, putting that on the strings. Actually, the meat of your hand right here is going to actually lay on your bottom 3 strings. Bottom 4, whatever. Back here by the bridge. Not so much up here that all you get is Ethiopian clicks again. Keep moving it back. You've got this up here, okay? So if you go back, right before it gets off of the bridge, you'll hear that sound. Move it too far this way, you're just clicking. Move it back a little bit, you're fine. That's what we're looking for. You move it back too far, you're doing that. So you got to find the sweet spot. The chunk, 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 chunk is what you want, but not click, 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 click. You want chunk, 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 chunk. Okay? So that's what we're going to do is whistle with your thumb. These are all down. 1 and 2 and 1. And you're hitting only those 3 strings. But all at once if you can. This takes major thumb aggression. So your thumb is doing all the work. And 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. It is muted down here. That's why it sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So your pick actually does what I'm saying. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So with every word you say those out loud. And your pick will do 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2. Move it down. 1 and 2 and 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 so that's how that works. Okay, so here we'll do this again. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and but I want you to speed this up whenever you get the chance, because this is where it's going to give you your money sounds. You know, you're going to be rocking and rolling now. Check it out. Okay, so that's how rock and roll is played. It's just that 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and okay. What there is also incorporating is you get to actually let off of this whole palm thing. You get 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. I know we got a lot of things going on because this is going down on 2 only, and now you're going to lift up your muting thing on the and after the 2. 1 and 2 and. So now you've got 1 and 2 and 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 you can put it in whenever you want, not every time. Check it out. So I'm going 1 and 2 and 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 every other time. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Which is the way you'll probably do it the majority of the time. But that's the way we get our rock and roll sounds, is strictly that. Okay, so it's 1 and 2. Again, you could want to do it all. You're not, if you want to rake it, you can do it really slow. And you can hear each note as you're raking it. If you're doing a really slow blues sound, that's actually kind of cool. But it's up to what you're looking for. So if you rake it slowly, it's a different sound than trying to get all of them at one time, which I'm trying to talk you into. But there is room for improvisation. Okay? Fancy word for doing it your own way. Get her done. Okay? So raking. And I forgot to mention maybe that is an upstroke when we do the and. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. That will be your upstroke. Okay? So if I failed to mention that before, that will be an upstroke whenever you want to release that muting and let it open, let it rip, and really give it some oomph, show it some juice, show it some power, show it who's boss. This is not Tony Danza, who's the boss, but upstroke. Everything else is down. You got to really pull up and give it some authority. Try to tear the strings off the guitar. That's half of it. Okay? So that is your rock and roll stuff. Practice on that. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. If you know your other chords, just like a D chord, you can add a pinky at the 4th fret on the G string and do the same thing. Okay? So, same kind of thing. Use them anywhere, everywhere. All this stuff I'm showing you is just trying to show you how to play, just do your basic strumming patterns. Okay, so we're getting into the advanced stuff now. But like I said, we're covering everything from the very beginning to about as much as you could want to play rhythm-wise. Don't be this person. Don't do that. I'm showing you this is the way you do it. Okay? So another thing you can actually do as far as rhythm goes is something like this. Okay, that's another unique thing. You'll hear like a matchbox. There's lots of pauses and stuff in there. But beautiful, man, I'll tell you what. So that, just the basic rhythm of that. Okay, that is just a G chord. You're just hitting it in the middle. Down, up, down, up. Now I'm actually switching from G here, just switching those two fingers down, if you want to know what I'm doing over here. But let you see everything. So it's down, up. So it is actually backwards. So it's down, up. Okay? Down, up. Okay, so it's backwards from everything. Down, there's a pause, up, down, up. Then finally I'm hitting the down note when I change chords. And that's down, up. Down, up, down. So it's down, up, down. 4 notes, down, up. Down, up, down. Up, down. Up, down, down. Up, down, down. Down, up, down. Up, down, down. So it's just something like that. Just something simple. Go backwards from what you did. So down, up, and end on a down. So it's just cool stuff like that. Matchbox 20 has some really cool stuff if you ever want to listen to it for the rhythm guitar parts. And when they get into it, there's the pauses in between that make it cool. So it's not a constant flow of rhythm all the time. It's the very good example of less is more. Okay, so you're giving the song room to breathe is what it's called. This is the technique for this, is room to breathe, is what this is happening. Breathing. Then you hit them with a little something, down, up, down, up. Breathe. Breathe. Hit it with something. Let it breathe. Hit them. Down. Let it breathe. Down, up, down, up. Okay, so that's basically all of the possible styles. I'm going to bend down and let you see my unshaven face for the day again. Anyway, so that's our hour. I hope you've been enlightened a little bit. But these are the basic rhythm patterns. There's a lot more to be had out there that you can actually figure out by yourself now that you have the basic tools to do it with. Okay? So anytime you guys want any kind of videos, just let me know and I'll do my best to put out something that you will enjoy. So go back to the beginning, the waltzes, basic, easy, simple stuff. Everything on this video, even though it's an hour video, it should take you a good week, 2 weeks, a month, depending on how much time you have to spend on this, okay? But do a lot of the clicky stuff to actually practice your rhythm. If you're playing waltz, just to get your hand used to playing it. Mute it and play the patterns, or the train, or the galloping horse. The best way to practice is by muting the thing. That will tell you if you have it right. If you've got a rhythm there that you can kind of groove to, then you've got it, okay? So find your soul, kids. If you can't find your soul, man, have somebody give you. Take somebody else's. It's every man for himself, or every woman for himself. So once again, thanks for requesting this video. I hope you get a lot out of it. I'm Scott Grove, and check out all the other stuff. Feel free to email me anytime. I'm here for customer support. Anything you need, or just a shoulder to cry on, I'm here. Okay, you guys have fun, take care, and happy strumming. Bye-bye.